it was that David entered the king's presence, not as the Lord's anointed, but as a humble, ragged shepherd, eager to please. David became a familiar figure around the fortress, for whenever Saul slipped into one of his bouts of depression, David would be called from his sheep to play soft music until the tormenting spirits departed. So life slipped into a pattern for David, and Saul's household could finally breathe easy, knowing that David was only a call away. Well, meantime, the Philistines were mustering forces for battle. Saul was forced to counter with a build-up of forces at the Elah Valley. So the Israelites and the Philistines faced each other across the valley. Well, the Philistines had in their midst a giant of a man named Goliath from Gath. He towered over the rest of the forces with his shining bronze helmet. He was a sight to behold as he emerged from the ranks and began to pace the hillside. He carried a bronze javelin tipped with an iron spearhead, and as he paced, he shouted across to the Israelites, issuing them a challenge.
I'm Goliath, I'm ready for battle. Show me a man and I'll take him on. I'm Goliath and I'm the greatest. Show me a man who's willing and strong. Servants of Saul, choose for yourself a man of strength to face me. For am I not Philistine, standing as your enemy? I'm Goliath, ready for battle. Show me a man and I'll take him on. I'm Goliath and I'm the greatest. Show me a man who's willing and strong. Surely there's one willing to fight. I dare him come and face me. So if you're there, show yourself equal to your enemy. If he is able, he will beat me, then we'll be your servants. But should I prevail against him, then it's you who'll serve us. Why do you come in battle array? There's really no need for slaughter. Show me a man who's willing to fight. We'll give you the answer. I'm Goliath, I issue this challenge. Who'll take on the champion? I'm Goliath and I'm the greatest. Show me a man and I'll take him on. Show me a man and I'll take him on.
Did he really believe such a thing would happen? Who was going to take on this giant of a man who strutted around confidently, taunting them with his challenge? Well, Saul, who was the giant of his own men, was no match for Goliath, and he knew it. This was a stalemate of gigantic proportions. Well, meanwhile, some miles away in Bethlehem, Jesse was becoming increasingly anxious for news about his three older sons, Eliab, Abinadab, and Shammah, who had volunteered to fight in the king's army against the Philistines. So, very early one morning, as David was preparing to go out and look after his flock, his father stopped him.
David. David, I have another task for you. I want you to go to Saul's camp. It is 40 days since we had news of your brothers.
Saul's camp? But Father, that's miles away. What about my sheep? Who's going to look after them?
Don't worry about that. Now, if you leave now, you should reach the Elah Valley by midday tomorrow, if you hurry. Now, I have some bread here for your brothers and a cheese for their captain.
Jesse, what's going on out here?
I'm sending David to Saul's camp.
You're sending David
Oh,
to
Zeruiah,
Saul's
don't make
camp?
this difficult. Run to the valley of Elah. Run, David, run.
Jesse, I beg you, think of the danger to your youngest son. What if the battle rages?
He'll be safe.
He's caught in the crossfire. He's too young to
He won't need to
Oh,
be
David, don't go to
in that place.
Jesse, don't do this. Please send another.
Away, David, away.
What if he searches and can't find his brothers?
Away,
Stay,
David, away. If I were younger and supple of limb,
Oh, Jesse, no.
I'd go to Elah, but I must send him.
No, Jesse,
He's God's anointed as Samuel foretold.
Samuel,
God will protect him, he's young and he's old. Carry some food and bring us some news and run, David, run. Swift as an arrow, straight to your brothers. Run, David, run. Run, David, run.
Take us some food, bring back some news. Run, David, run. Swift as an arrow, straight to your brothers. Run, David, run. Run, David, run.
Well, David knew these hills like the back of his hand. He'd been exploring them since he was a child. Well, his mother knew he could take care of himself. She was just being overprotective. Well, David dismissed any thoughts of her anxiety. This was an exciting adventure for him. He'd see Saul's army for himself. Well, the sun was high in the sky when he came to the top of the final rise. And the rhythmic chant of the Israelite battle cry punctured the air. He saw Saul's army spread out before him, and he gasped with astonishment. He could see the Philistine army spread out across on the other side of the valley. The sun was glinting on their weapons. And as he watched, he saw a Philistine soldier out in front of the troops. He was the largest man David had ever seen. And with a shout, he had command of the situation.
Do you not have a man amongst you who's willing to fight me? Where is your God now? Has he fled with the rest of you? Saul, prove yourself to be a man.
And so the taunts went on. Saul's army began to retreat back towards their tents. Something was wrong. This was not the kind of battle that David had expected to witness, so he hurried down to the camp. He had to find his brothers, and as he searched, he heard some soldiers talking together.
This Philistine giant is at it again. How much longer we got to listen to this?
He's insulted the entire army of Israel.
Have you heard the king has offered a reward for the man who kills him?
And one of his daughters to be his wife.
And the whole family will be exempt from paying taxes.
But who in their right mind would take him on? Look at the size of him. It would be suicide.
What will a man get for killing this Philistine?
A man will get a reward.
And one of Saul's daughters.
But why do you ask?
Oh, I was only asking. Who is this Philistine anyway, that he's allowed to insult the living God?
He's Goliath of Gath. Have you seen the size of him?
David! What are you doing here? Why aren't you taking care of your sheep? I know what a cocky little brat you are. You only wanted to see the battle.
Done nothing wrong, Eliab. I was only asking questions.
Why should all this concern you? Father will be angry if he knows you're here.
Father sent me with food and to see how you are.
Well, we're all right, so now you can go. Please, David, this is no place for you.
David, what are you doing here?
I came with my father's instructions to inquire about my brothers. And I see you need someone to take on this Philistine.
Yes, indeed.
Goliath.
Yes, indeed we do.
Don't worry about it. I'll take care of him for you.
David. It's alright, he doesn't know what he's saying.
And who are you?
I'm his older brother, Eliab, sire. He's just a shepherd and knows nothing of fighting.
David, I don't think you understand. You're just a young man, and he is a warrior. No, David, no. 41 days he is taunted by soldiers, and no one will go.
Sire, I do implore you. David is my youngest brother, and he is too young to be here. Oh, David, get out of this place.
Why are you eager to go, David, to go?
Sire, can't you see that he's young and he's foolish? Why, David, why?
When lion or bear steals a lamb from my
David,
I will protect it with club or with rod.
David,
The God
do this.
who protects me from bear and
Have you
from
seen what he's
He
like?
will protect me from this Philistine.
If you must do this, I will not stop you.
No,
Go, David, go. God of the Father, God will protect you. No, David, go. Go, David, go.
If you must do this, Saul will not stop you. Go, David, go. God of your fathers, he will protect you. Go, David, go. Go, David, go.
What on earth was Saul thinking? Even Eliab turned on his heels and stalked away.
Just a minute, David. Here, take my armor.
I will go as I am.
Then may the Lord be with you.
So David left the king's presence and headed towards the dry riverbed, where he selected 5 smooth round stones. These he tucked into his leather pouch. And then he turned to where Goliath was watching from across the valley.
Abner, what sort of family is this young fellow from?
Who? David?
Yes, David. What's his family like?
I really don't know, sire.
We'll find out. If he wins, I'll have to give him one of my daughters. If he loses, well, the family will need to know. I think one of his brothers was here a little while ago, trying to stop him. His name was Eliab or something like that. Go find him.
Yes, sire.
This is not going to turn out well.
He is a very brave young man, Father.
Oh, Jonathan, do you think so? I think he's foolish, and I'm foolish to let him attempt this. This can only end up in defeat for us.
We will see.
So, what is the meaning of this? Is this some kind of joke? Have you sent a boy to do your dirty work? Come over here, boy! Am I a dog that should come with a stick? A curse on your God of Israel. Come over here and I'll have your flesh. A curse on your God of Israel.
After the Philistines, bringing them down all the way to Gath. What a victory this turned out to be. Well, Saul and Jonathan stood and watched as Captain Abner commanded him to return to the king. Well, David complied, of course, and soon stood before Saul.
You have done well, David. You've brought about victory for us.
The victory is the Lord's, sire. I merely threw the stone.
Nevertheless, you can see what your action has done. The Philistines have fled, and my men have now gained the upper hand. There'll be much carnage today. Captain Abner, my horse. Tell me about your father, my boy.
His name is Jesse, and we live in Bethlehem.
Well, son of Jess, stay here until I return. Jonathan, make sure he goes nowhere.
Why is he inquiring about my father? He already knows who I am.
His mind plays tricks on him sometimes. Maybe he wants to keep you here permanently.
Can he really do that?
Yes. The Lord is with you, David, and Father can see that. Here. You have my loyalty too. You're a true warrior.
No, you are the true warrior. I've heard so much about your courage. I'm simply a shepherd boy who sees the moment to do God's will.
Then we will seize moments together. We will be like brothers.
I already have 6 brothers.
Then what is one more?
So began a friendship between a prince and a shepherd boy that would be tested time and time again. But for now, they remained at the Israelite camp until Saul's victorious army had returned. They began the long march back to Gibeah. Well, as news reached the towns along the way, the women came out into the streets to cheer and to celebrate with their king. They danced for joy with tambourines and with cymbals. story again as King Saul, followed by Jonathan, enters the fortress at Gibeah.
Helen! Where are you?
Oh, Father! What a victorious day for you! Everyone is talking about it.
Victorious? For whom? For upstart David?
No, Jonathan, we heard that David killed Goliath, the giant Philistine warrior. Oh, how I wish I could have been there. Everyone is calling him a hero.
Hush, Mikhail. So it does you no good getting angry and upset. Please calm down.
Can you believe it? David's getting all the credit. And what has he done? He's killed Goliath, that's all.
He was a very brave young man, Father. No one else would do it.
Send for David to sing for me. That's what he's here for. I need some calming music. Send for him at once!
Wine for the king and for his son. They have had a victory today.
Sing, David, shepherd boy of Bethlehem. Sing for your king.
Oh Lord, you are my shepherd, and I have everything I need. You lead me to the quiet pools and fields of green. You give to me a strength that's new. You guide me in the path that's right. And in the deepest darkness I will not be afraid. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff protect me. And you prepare a feast for me before my enemies. I'm your honored guest. You fill my cup to the brim. I know your love and goodness are with me all my life. Oh Lord, you are my shepherd, and I have everything I need. You lead me to the quiet pools and fields of green. You give to me a strength that's new. You guide me in the path that's right. And in the deepest darkness I will not be afraid. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff protect me. And you prepare a feast for me before my enemies. I'm your honored guest. You fill my cup to the brim. I know your love and goodness are with me all my life. Your house will be my home. Your house will be my home. Your house will be my home just as long as I live.
Ah!
What's the matter with you?
Father, he's never done anything to harm me.
David's not your enemy. You've got him all wrong.
He's a fraser of my people! Even my own children worship him. The next step will be my kingdom. Well, he won't have it, I tell you. He won't have it!